All right, guys, we're back. Hey, I had a busy couple weeks. I mean, from WrestleMania, Miami to WrestleMania to the U.S. Open last week in Vegas. I'm finally back. And when I'm back, you know it's time to work, bringing you the biggest news in the UFC. And today's episode is brought to you by Total Wireless, the official wireless provider of the UFC. They're in your corner with unlimited 5G data that will not slow you down. Guys, big news came out this week. It was official. Dustin Poirier is fighting against Max Holloway for the BMF title in July in New Orleans. Hey, that's exciting enough for me in its own regard that they're fighting in New Orleans. But what's most exciting is we get two guys that fight each other, and every time they fight each other, it's fun. First time, Max Holloway was far too young, didn't really know what he was doing in the UFC. Dustin got through him pretty convincingly. Second fight, in Atlanta, Georgia for the interim title that earned the fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov, Max Holloway was still a little small for 155. That is where the pudgy Max came from. Because you remember in that fight, Max went up, but his body didn't really change. He just looked like he put on weight, so he didn't look strong like he did when he fought Justin Gaethje. And clearly, Dustin Poirier, who almost retired last year, after fighting Islam Makhachev, is going to walk away on his home soil in New Orleans in front of all those adoring fans. There's a lot to this one. Generally, we don't put two guys together who have already fought twice and one guy has won in both of those fights. But with this one, it's easy to see why you have put Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier together. I mean, they're two of the best fighters in the world, or at least have been for a really long time. The amount of time that Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway have spent at the top of the UFC, it rivals just about any two fighters that you could ever find. Poirier came into the UFC as a guy that really didn't have any hype. He was brought in to get beat up by Josh Grisby. He beat the crap out of Josh Grisby and became the Dustin Poirier today. Max Holloway did have hype, but we saw Max Holloway grow up in the UFC. He was a baby when he got here. Big old ears, so skinny. Now he's a man, world champion, BMF champion, and that's on the line in New Orleans. When the fight got announced, Dustin Poirier said, it would be nice to get in there, retire clear, go home with no stitches for my daughter. But knucklehead fashion, I'm going to stand in the middle with Max, and we're going to bleed, and we're going to put on a show for the last one. So Dustin Poirier essentially is saying that I'm going to do what I always do to entertain you, right? He said that our gap in years in terms of the fights, it's been huge. The first one in 2012, second one in 19, now this one's in 25. Each fight is a different fight. It's the same guy, but we've been in the game, we've been in the gym, and we fought so many great world-class guys that we are both different fighters every single time you step into the octagon. I'm a guy that was in multiple rematches. I fought Anthony Johnson twice. I fought John Jones twice. I fought Stipe Miocic 3 times. I don't know that I ever fought the same guy 2 times. Same name. I don't know that I ever fought the same fighter twice. They were always different. Something was different every time you step into the octagon with that person. It could be something very small. It could be very, very small. But inside the octagon, you feel it. And in that second fight, even though Dustin won, through those middle rounds, Dustin felt a new Max Holloway. A Max Holloway that honestly was very close to overtaking that fight. I think that is when Dustin Poirier truly became Dustin Poirier. Because there have been times in his career where when things start to go a little sideways for DP, he would not always rise up to the challenge. But in that fight, he rose up and he elevated and he became the interim champion. That was a fight where I thought that he did really, really good. Luna, could you turn it down one more, baby? I thought he did really, really good. My daughter's sitting here watching some YouTube, so I can hear it. That's perfect, baby. Thank you so much, sweetie. Oh, you're so sweet. I love her so much. He came to form. This time he gets to fight in New Orleans. Look, man, everybody wants to fight at home. but it's not always the best. Think about this. The guys that have fought at home in a retirement fight, how's it gone? We saw it last week with Anthony Smith. Anthony Smith got to fight in Kansas City in the Midwest where he made a career for himself. Not only did he get his butt kicked, he got into a fight with a fan after losing like that. He's supposed to be home. He's supposed to be showered with love and praise. He got into a fight with a fan afterwards because nobody likes a person falling more than the people that may come from the same situation as them. So when Anthony Smith is going through that, when Anthony Smith is losing his fight, and that guy's like heckling him and making fun of him, so seeing him fail, it almost like uplifts that person. That's one case. Didn't work. It didn't work. You don't always want to fight at home. That's not the only one. There was one that I talked about very recently when I was thinking about the Anthony fight, about a guy that was trying to retire at home. Korean Zombie. Korean Zombie. That's what I was talking about. Korean Zombie was supposed to retire at home. Against who? Max Holloway in Korea. Gets starched. It's not always good because so much comes with fighting at home. More ticket requests. More people that want to be around you. More hanger-ons. So that friend of the friend that normally is afar because he can't get to Vegas, he can't get to New York, he can't get to California, is there now because it's only a drive. It's not a flight. I don't even fight anymore. And people have already texted me from home, I want your tickets to that fight. That's how excited people are from Louisiana about Dustin Poirier being there. But it's more than just a fight, right? It really is the end of an era. We've been lucky to live through this era of lightweight. The Charles Oliveira, the Dustin Poirier, the Khabib Nurmagomedov, the Justin Gaethje, the Tony Ferguson. Don't act like we cannot mention this group without Tony Ferguson because Tony Ferguson at a point was as valuable to this group of fighters as any of the others, even if he was an interim champ, not the world champ. Dustin Poirier wasn't. Justin Gaethje wasn't. They were interim champions. We have been lucky to live through what has been such a great time at 155. But make no mistake about it. With Dustin walking away, Khabib's already gone. This is the end of the road for a lot of these guys. And that is not lost on Dustin Poirier, who told MMA Fighting, I'm on the way out. Justin Gaethje's on the way out. Kamaru Usman's got a few left. There's a changing of the guard going right now. He's speaking to Pat McAfee. There's a change in the guard happening in our division right now. Paddy Pimblett outclassed Michael Chandler in that fight in Miami. You're a Chandler guy, you love him. You're a Chandler guy, you hate him. If you want to speak the truth, he did not fight. We haven't seen him get beat like that before since he got here. He's lost, but not like that. Paddy Pimblett's a young guy on his way up. Arman Tsarukyan beat Charles Oliveira. Islam Makhachev is the champion now. He was younger when that group was starting to really form and take over the division. He's the champion now. That group of guys, Dan Hooker included, who has had a career resurgence, they're starting to make their way out, right? We were lucky to live it, but time doesn't wait for anybody. So for Dustin Poirier, he has an opportunity to do it one more time. But Max Holloway at 155 looked amazing. If that's the guy that shows up, the guy that fought Justin Gaethje at UFC 300, that's a hard fight for everybody. Everybody. Not just Dustin Poirier. Hard fight for any 155-pounder in the world if the guy that showed up at UFC 300 shows up. This is as big a fight as you can get in your retirement fight, and it's for the BMF championship. My question is, does the BMF title go out the door with Dustin Poirier if he wins it? Or do we just put that belt on someone else? There is no lineage. There is no this guy to this guy to this guy. But it does add to a fight now. I thought it was one of the worst gimmicks when they made the BMF championship. I like it now because it does add something. It adds something to the story that is a story that really don't need much because the fights are what matters when it comes to Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. Those guys are going to rock that Smoothie King arena, man. And I can't wait. But in the comments, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are on fighting at home. We've seen many instances where it didn't work. I want your thoughts on retiring before you actually get your last fight. Because again, those are things that haven't always worked. There's a lot of things that haven't worked. But if there's anyone that can overcome all of those things, it's DP. But he's got a killer in front of him, Max Holloway. I cannot wait. This is going to be good, guys. New Orleans in the summer, it's going to be hot. So if you're making the trip, it's going to be hot and it's going to be humid. So you better be ready for that Louisiana summer. They're going to bring the heat in the octagon, and it's going to be hot outside as y'all trying to tour Bourbon Street. Hey, thank you guys for tuning in. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you. Until next time, like, subscribe, and tell your friends that DC's got a YouTube channel, and I'm doing things like this. I'll catch you guys on the next Funky and the Champ, which comes out tomorrow. So make sure you guys are watching. Until next time, peace.